Well, hello, everybody. I'm Gustavo Tolosa, and today, as we do every Saturday afternoon, we are having our book club, and we are reading. We have been reading this for quite a few weeks, The Cheese Trap by Dr. Neal Barnard. And today, I have a most special guest, a dear, dear friend, and also she is someone truly special in the plant-based world, someone that people love and respect. And she was so kind to say yes to me when I invited her to be in our book club today. So, Linda Middlesworth, everybody. How are you doing, Linda?
I'm doing great. Thank you. This is so nice to be here with you.
Very good. Very good. And you are in Northern, right? California?
Northern California, Sacramento.
In Sacramento. Okay, wonderful. So, Linda, I will pass on to you the baton, as we could say in music, to talk about something that you are very passionate about and have experienced. I'm just going to do a short introduction today as people come in, and then I'm just going to let you speak here. Hold on just a minute. Let's do this. And so everybody, I'm just going to say a few words while people log in here. And all I have to say for this Saturday is that this chapter 7 in The Cheese Trap was for me one of the hardest chapters to read. The other chapters, of course, are difficult sometimes because we read and we learn about all the bad effects that the dairy and the animal products have on us. But this was particularly difficult because I don't think anybody or any creature should be treated or in a bad way or tortured. And much less when a creature is vulnerable and they cannot defend themselves. So it really was difficult, but I got through it. We will try. I know that most of you, if not all of you, have already read the chapter for today, and if not, you will read it. We will try to not be too I guess, explicit or how can I say, visual, because most of us here know what it is like. But we will discuss some of these things because we come into contact with people that are not plant-based, and sometimes they come up with really out of context things like, well, a lettuce is also a bean and it's crying when you eat it, and things like that. And we have to have an answer, I think, without getting into an argument. Well, or sometimes we do get an argument, but it's, let me just say that a little baby cow, crying for the mom is not the same as a carrot. So I want to read on page 122. This is going to be my introduction here on page 122, where it says where milk comes from. Dr. Barnard says, to state the obvious, cows produce milk to nourish their babies. And just as a nourishing mother produces enough milk for her baby, not enough to feed the entire neighborhood, a cow normally produces the milk her calf needs and not a lot extra for making cheese and ice cream. But a dairy farm cannot make money that way. And of course, everything goes around on money, as we've been looking and reading. So dairy producers do several things, and I want to mention these 3 things that Dr. Barnard mentions. First, they impregnate the cows annually and take the calves away so the dairy can take all the milk. Second, through breeding and sometimes using pharmaceuticals, they push cows to produce more milk. And third, when the cows don't, earn their keep, they become hamburger and are replaced by younger cows who begin the cycle of impregnation and lactation. And of course, most of the farms will not let you go in, and they don't want you to see this. So I want to now bring Linda here because many of you have probably seen her in many other webinars with other people, but we all know, Linda, what a caring heart you have and how much you fight for animals' rights.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So one of my questions, first of all, maybe let's do this. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what you have been, what you have done and what you're doing now, and then just comment on what we just read. Have you ever been able to go to a farm? What is your experience with this kind of treatment of the animals?
I have gone to a farm, so I'll tell you that in a minute. Thank you so much, Gustavo. Of course, I'm enjoying you and your webinars, and I was so happy to get to know you in person for years. I just love everything you represent and everything you're doing. You are like me in that you like to get the message out. You want people to know what's going on. You want people to know what's going on with their health and how to make that happen so that they regain good health, which is one of my major goals. And I do that several ways. I have a vegan mentor business where I coach people. I'm an instructor for Food for Life nutrition and cooking classes for Dr. Neal Barnard, one of my biggest heroes. And we do cancer classes, diabetes classes, kids classes, kickstart classes, and they all revolve around teaching people how to make very healthy food choices rather than the choices that are out there for all of us. I made very bad food choices myself until I was 44. At 44 years of age, I had cancer, heart disease, prediabetes, and I was 50 pounds overweight. So fortunately, I had moved to Sacramento. And at that moment, I met my new neighbor who said, "Oh, that'll all go away. Just get Dr. John McDougall's book, or just get a hold of Dr. John McDougall." And I said, "Who?" And so I went down that day and I bought his book. It was called something like I forgot, the 12-day health watch. I forgot. It was one of his earlier books. I read the whole book from cover to cover, and I wasn't perfect after I read that book, but I was really close. I still was going out to eat too much, and that was a big problem. But now I follow McDougall completely, and Dr. Barnard as well. And I regained my health is what I did. I lost the weight, lost the cancer, lost the heart disease. And I'm here as a 76-year-old lady now, and I feel better than ever. I have more energy. I'm still teaching aerobics at my gym, except for COVID. I've now dropped my classes way down, and we took the gym outside in the parking lot. I'm teaching in a parking lot now because of COVID. So I'm the oldest instructor among a whole bunch of instructors. They have about, 7, 8 gyms, 9, 10 gyms around, and I'm the oldest of all of them. But I'm not the weakest because I'm a healthy vegan. And when you're a healthy vegan, you get stronger. I got muscles, baby. Can you see that? Yeah. And being old and being strong is really a beautiful thing, because I seriously feel like I'm 35, maybe at the most. And I feel like this every day when I get up in the morning. And this is what Gustavo and I would like for you as well. If you're struggling, we both can help you because we follow the right doctors who know the right information to get you there. Now, besides working on the health side, I have a huge passion for animals. I've been involved in animal rights for 32 years now when I started. my new neighbor, the same neighbor who told me about John McDougall, said, "Oh, you know what happens to dairy cows?" We were walking our dogs together around the block, around the park. And she said, "You know what happens to dairy cows, don't you?" Because I told her I love cheese. Oh my gosh, I can't give up my cheese. I said, "There's no way. You can tell me to give up my meat, but don't you dare tell me to give up my cheese." I was so highly addicted, as people are, because of the casein in there. It makes the mother cow makes the baby cow want to come back to the mother when she's nursing. Well, we're not cows. We don't have big ears and tails. And we are certainly shouldn't be taking the baby's milk away from the mama. But that's what we do. Sorry. We do that. We take the milk away, and the poor baby who was supposed to get the milk gets fed this horrible stuff instead, and never gets to suckle on her mama or his mama. And it is very horrible indeed. But so I got involved, and I became the co-organizer of the Sacramento Animal Rights Group, which I still am. Now I'm in the Sacramento Animal Save movement, which is started in Canada with Anita. They saw her. She took a group of people to feed water to pigs inside the trucks before they would go to slaughter. And the media found out about it because she was arrested for giving water to the little piggies who were so frightened and scared and half dead on the way to slaughter. Now we're traveling for days and weeks to get there. And for that, she was arrested, and it started an entire worldwide movement called the Animal Save movement. If you're ever interested in getting involved, that is a wonderful organization. So I'm core organizer of that. And then also, when I was, let's see, quite a few years ago, it was 6.5 years ago, when I was turning 70, I thought, I need to do something big for the animals. So I thought, I'm going to take a tour. I took a bus load of 22 people up and down California to do videos of where our food comes from. It was called the Animal Compassion Tour, and a big logo on the side of the van, either side. But when we got close to the egg and dairy farms and meat farms, we actually removed the sign, and I went in and told them that we were foodies and just wanting to show Californians where our food comes from. And I never got to finish that video because my husband passed away. He fell off of a mountain. Anyway, not off of a mountain, but on a mountain 6 years ago. So I never finished the film, but one day I'll put parts of it together and show you all. But we went to egg farms and dairy farms, and what I saw and what I videoed there would make you cry immediately if I described it. It was the most horrific experience of my life. And several of my people got sued. They thought I was the other Linda on the bus, so they sued her, not me. And so they were sued for trespassing because we had just driven into Harris Beef Ranch. It's a huge beef ranch in California. We didn't even go in, but because we were there, we threatened them, and they actually sued us. They have so much money, they can use that to just sue anybody. So we had to go defend ourselves, or they did. My people on my van, in my van with me. So one of those persons was Colleen from Veg News, who I adore, and a whole bunch of just wonderful people. So that was that experience, and someday I will share some of that with you. But the first time I saw a dairy cow being taken away from its mother was at UC Davis, which is a big animal agriculture university in Davis, California. And I had gone over to the dairy farm, and I saw my first baby being taken away at birth from her mama. And then what they do, if they have to take a boy away, which they put away later as a veal, they actually put a little nozzle in their nose so they can't suckle anything. And it is so unbelievably heartbreaking. So that image has never left me in 32 years. It will never go away. And it's one of those things. And then the other thing I do for the animals is I have a whole bunch of different organizations, including PETA. I do a lot of work with PETA. In fact, this Thanksgiving, we're giving away 20 tofurkeys to people instead of having them buy a turkey. We're going to give them free and give them information about what happens to turkeys. So that's another thing. But I have so many organizations I work with, and that's DXC. We were actually arrested for standing on the Capitol steps because we wanted to start Rose's Law, which is a bill for animal rights. Animals should have the same protections that we human beings have. And DXC started a whole system, a whole bill of Rose's Law, and that the Rose's Law for animal rights is the right to be free and not owned, just like we humans deserve that. The right to not be exploited or harmed, the right to have their own housing and place of safety, or echo place, and the right to have a guardian that will take care of them. Everybody has the right, so should they. So anyway, we were standing on the steps with our signs that say Rose's Law. It was named after a chicken they had rescued. When a farmer gave one of the chickens before it went to slaughter, they gave her to our group and they named it after her. So Rose's Law is about a chicken that got saved. But it is a beautiful thing that they're trying to do, that we are trying to do together, in that having an actual bill passed, and we're going to get it done. We will get it done. But we were standing there on the steps, and the horseback police came to us, and they called in the troops, and the troops came and arrested us and threw us in jail. This is not a good time to go to jail when you're 76, like me especially. None of
this was recently, right? This was recent.
This was about 4 weeks ago. It was actually, it was October 2nd. And we went to jail, and I was put into jail in my cell was 11 other people, and then 4 more came in that weren't with my group. All 11 were with my group. And there was another cell with the rest of us. But it was very scary because I was there for 15 hours, and we had to be handcuffed with our hands behind our back. And I had broken my shoulder a year ago, and it's still not that well. So it was really hard to have the handcuffs behind me. But I was so afraid of COVID because we were packed like sardines in that cell. It was cold, very cold all night long. And we wanted to hug each other for comfort, but we didn't dare. But we couldn't even sit down because there was not enough room. It was so horrific. We did finally lay down as like little sardines on the very cold floor. And there was a toilet over by the side that was open, and it didn't flush. So it was just lovely. I don't recommend it. Never go to jail if you can. I have much more empathy for people who do have to go to jail now, so much more. And a lot of people go to jail for really minor reasons. And it's really horrible that we do this to people too. But anyway, my experience for animal rights is one time my friend Cam and I, she's a co-organizer of Sacramento Animal Rights, on my 70th birthday, the thing we were going to do is ride our bikes across the United States in our bikinis and hope to get some attention with signs about animals. So we never did that because she had a baby, and that kind of ruined the whole thing. But her heart was there. So anyway,
Okay, all right, Lita, you have, I, along with many others, admire that passionate, and that you will stand there with your signs, and you will talk to people. I have seen you talk to strangers, and you know, it's admirable, because not all of, but that's what makes this planet interesting. I guess we all have different gifts and different ways, different personalities. It is hard for me to talk, let's say, to a stranger, although I do that through webinars, but not in person. But you know what? One thing that I have wondered before, and I don't know if you can comment on this, is that why do we nowadays, well, not me, I'm not counting myself anymore in the group, but why do people torture these animals when we as human beings can survive perfectly well without meat? And if we wanted to eat meat, like they say, well, our
Ancestors.
Ancestors, they ate meat and all that. Well, but they had to go out and get it, and not have to put all these thousands and millions of animals in cages. So I just wonder what it would be like if someone had to go to the backyard and grab that chicken and cut their throat or whatever. I wonder if people would eat meat if they had to do that. Have we become just so insensitive because we go to the supermarket and then it's in that little tray, and what has happened? How
I find people are completely disassociated from the animal and their food. Like you said, in the supermarket, they don't even call it beef, a cow. They call it beef to further distance your idea that could be a cow. Same thing with pork. Instead of calling it a pig, people sometimes like little piggies, so they don't want to think of it as a pig. Chickens are kind of hysterical, they think, so they can call it what it is. Chickens have a bad rap. They call you a chicken if you can't do something. So it's okay to call chicken because they're not worth much. And that's how our culture has defined this. It's a cultural thing that it's been embedded for thousands of years for us to think of animals as protein. And it started about 10,000 years ago when we started herding animals to save them for protein and kill all the wildlife around the animals for protein, because we wanted it was money again and protein. We needed that protein again, but as people thought, but it became a money source. And decapitation, decapitating animals, that comes right from killing them. But right. we are so insensitized just through culture. And we don't even think of the animal as the animal anymore. I love Gary Ufersky once told me, I don't know if you know him, but if you look it up online, it's called The Greatest Speech You'll Ever Heard, Gary Ufersky. He will go around to colleges for years and just talk to them. And he said, if you had a baby in a playpen or a small child, and you had a bunny rabbit there and you had an apple, he said, if that child reaches for the bunny and starts eating it, I will eat the playpen. That's what he said. And that's, people don't get it. If you had to go out, like you said, and if you saw a deer, Jim goes walking in the hills a lot and he sees deer, a lot of them. And if he went out and said, oh my God, there's dinner. I can see dinner. Oh, there's a mommy and a daddy and the little baby's there. I think, well, the baby might be easier to catch. Maybe I'll just go get that and take a big bite. If that sounds good to you, well, the way we have to eat animal products is we have to cut them up, take their skin off, and then we have to put barbecue sauce and a lot of salt and pepper or something on them in order to be able to gag them down. I always tell people, if I gave you a piece of bacon a piece of pig, you wouldn't be able to eat it if it weren't loaded with salt. Same thing with cheese. You would not be able to eat the cheese if there was no salt, because there's, right, Gustavo, there's so much salt in cheese.
Right.
Very high sodium. So
how do you spell Gary's last name?
Oh, Y-O-U. Yofursky. Y-O-U. It's a hard name.
Sometimes you have to write it down.
Write it down.
Yes. But it's just that someone was asking, and I.
Okay, Yofursky. Y-O-U. Google. His.
Is he with an organization or a book?
The best speech you'll ever hear.
Okay.
Or the best. Google that and you'll find him.
Maybe some. Oh, there. She found it. It's Yourofsky. Yurovsky. Okay.
Yurovsky. Yeah.
All right. Very good.
It is amazing. Will you hear his speech? So.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, Linda, have you ever been? I read in the book here. It made me just cringe when I was reading the part where the sounds that the mothers make when they take their babies. And there is a place in Newbury where the people in town were hearing these surreal, these really weird noises, and they, told the authorities, and it happened to be all these cows that were screaming. Is that something that you ever experienced?
Yes, and that one time that the baby cow was taken from the mom, she was screaming and the baby was screaming.
They both were.
Yeah, both were screaming, especially the mom. And it is, like I said, it will never leave my mind. And then, of course, you've seen videos, and I've seen them too. I've never seen it in person, but when the mother jumps off the truck, running after the truck that has her baby taken from her, that's an image I can't get out of my mind too. She's running, she jumps out of the truck she's in and tries to run behind the truck where her baby is. All mamas love thetheir babies. There are no mamas who don't love their babies. I don't care if you're a chicken. It doesn't matter. Chickens like to sit on their eggs and cluck to them. They actually talk to them.
Mm-hmm. So, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like you said earlier, we're so desensitized. I mean, we just don't think about this and how these beings want their babies, and then some of the other procedures that Dr. Barnard mentions here that are very painful for the animal, like dehorning.
Yeah.
And which sometimes they're done with heat or with, and I don't know, and without anesthesia and things like that. It's truly a torture, like a concentration camp.
Well, they pull the piggy's genitals off by hand, just yank them off. And I don't think you'd want your baby to have that happen to your baby. No. I mean, it's the most horrible. They, of course, the baby chickens, the baby boy chickens are put in a grinder. They don't need them because they don't make any money. So every boy that's born to the egg-laying chickens is actually put in a grinder, a big grinder.
Right.
And it's horrific. So even backyard chickens, don't get backyard chickens unless you're rescuing them, because those baby boys also went to a grinder. So every time you buy chickens, you're causing that to happen again. Right. We kill about over 1 million chickens per hour in this country.
It's an unreal number, truly.
And they're so, especially the egg layer chickens, they have to lay something like over 200 eggs a year, and they normally would do 25, 30 eggs a year. So they actually, the calcium just depletes from their bones, and so they can barely stand up, and their legs break, and they have to take off their beaks because they would peck each other to death. And that's free range. I want you to know there's no such thing as humanely raised cows, dairy, fish. There's no such thing. Fish too, because they have the same pain receptors we do and your dog does. And people don't think of fish because they're not so cuddly, but they have families and friends too.
Right.
The last thing people give up, Gustavo, seems to be fish. They think somehow that's the big health food, and it is not. You can get your omega-3s from beans and greens, and also if you eat flax too. Ground up flax is one of my very favorites. I make all my clients eat 1 to 2 tablespoons every day of ground up flax because, for one thing, they like to kill cancer cells. The little flax seeds do. They like to kill the cancer cells. They give you omega-3s. They help you with your gut bacteria, and there's fiber. So you need fiber. We need so much fiber. Americans get 3% of their diet in fiber? There's no fiber in animal foods. Not one little speck.
No.
And there's no fiber in processed foods either.
No.
You want to eat whole foods.
Exactly. And that is sometimes a challenge to explain because, we have vegans that are very well intentioned, but they're eating these highly processed foods that we read about when we were reading Dr. McDougall's book about. He has a chapter that's called The Fat Vegan. Not to make fun of people, but it's just because you can be vegan and not eat animal products and be overweight or obese and as sick as someone who is eating animal products. What you said about eating food as whole is key here. Food that we can recognize.
If sometimes for your birthday you have some processed floured cake, I don't care, but it's just your daily diet. We want it to be whole foods, and it's not that hard once you get used to it, as Gustavo shows you in his cooking classes too.
That's right. Yes. And tell us, how do you eat flax seed? Do you eat it in breakfast? Do you put it on salads? I mean, how do you eat it?
Well, my favorite way is to put it on my oatmeal. I just mix it in the oatmeal, and you don't even know it's there.
Yeah. And you think that about a tablespoon,
a tablespoon or 2 is even better because it's just that good for you. There's also chia and hemp seeds, but they don't have what flax has, and that is the flax seeds like to kill cancer cells. It's called apoptic. They like to kill cancer cells. So they have one up on the hemp and the chia. I eat those too, but every day I make sure I get my flax in.
Okay, and you grind them? You grind?
Oh grind your own. Don't buy the stuff in the store that's already ground. Jim will show me. Jim, do you have that little grinder?
I have the coffee grinder, and that.
You have the little grinder,
right?
For flaxseed. Yeah.
For flaxseed, know. And one thing that Dr. Barnard mentions here in this chapter, also besides the animal torture, I call it, is the effect on the environment, the water and the pollution. Oh, there you go.
Here's a little. See, this is the grinder.
Yeah, that's what I have.
That's perfect for grinding your own flax seeds too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wonderful. So, I was mentioning, Linda, about, it says here that there are roughly 100 million cows in North America, and the amount of resources that these animals use is depleting our planet when we could be saving it.
Jim is my expert on climate change, and he how many cows do we kill in America? 8.
Worldwide, we kill 5 million a year.
Worldwide, what?
In the U.S., 5 million.
5 million in the U.S. and one of the biggest problems with that is the amount of water it takes. the amount of just even slaughter them.
Right.
And then
1/3 of our water supply.
1/3 of our water supply.
Yeah.
1/3 of our water supply. And then they use the land up. We should be, I think somebody told me you could feed the whole world.
Yes.
And no one would be starving if we just use the land for our plants for ourselves. Like we make soy. We grow soy here.
Yeah.
Feed the cows.
Cows, yes.
Directly to us.
Uh-huh.
So we got the water, we got the transportation, we got the slaughterhouses, which take up so much of our resources. I think it's 2,500 gallons of water for one hamburger and like 200 or something for gallons for a loaf of wheat bread, something like that. I've forgotten the exact thing.
The number, can you hear me? Because I'm not sure if the mic. Okay, yeah, the numbers. I have to go back and look, but the numbers are so unreal. Like to have a little hamburger patty. I don't know how many. If it's 50 or I don't know 100 gallons of water, it's just mind-boggling.
And we're deforesting the world, and we have the dead zones around, especially around because of the animal agriculture runoff. We have dead zones all around the United States. The fish are dying. There, it is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And Mother Earth here is telling us that the Earth can keep going without us, and that we just need to start paying attention. But I don't know if we are doing that.
I'm hoping we have time.
I hope we have time. Well, Linda, I don't know if you want to share anything else, because this is such a privilege to have you. We usually stay, for about 45 minutes, so we still have, 10 minutes or so. If you want to tell us maybe about what you do as a mentor or anything else that you do.
First, I want to go back to one thing about the chickens. Because people eat more chicken than just about anything now. They're cutting down on beef a little bit, and even pigs, except for the bacon part. And so, but chickens, people don't seem to know that free range means 200,000 chickens crammed together in a windowless shed. Their beaks are still cut off. They're just miserable that they can't stand up anymore because they're so weak, and they've been bred to be too big for their bodies. And in egg chickens, their uteruses prolapse. I know about this because Animal Place, which is near me, is a farm sanctuary. They rescued just recently 900 more chickens. They were egg-laying chickens. They were about to be killed, and they rescued them and brought them all back to their sanctuary. I have to go. I went and helped clean them up. Sometimes you have to put their uteruses back in because they're hanging out, and then give them shots. And then some of them have no feathers left at all, or hardly any feathers. They're sick and they're weak, and we try to nurse them back the best we can, and we try to then get homes for all of them. That is a major deal, and they do this all the time. They're an amazing group. Animal Place, if you want to give to a sanctuary, Animal Place in California is fabulous.
Wow.
And so that most of the egg-laying chickens are kept, the battery chickens, there's like 11 in one small cage, not even the size of a sheet of paper for each one. They can't move their wings, and naturally they want to move their wings, and they want to dust bathe and be out in the sunshine, but they have the most miserable time. So don't think eating eggs is okay for you. And it's also health-wise, as Gustavo has told you, it's so high in cholesterol. And so you get cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and obesity from eating eggs. So we want to leave that out. I just want you to know that if you need help transitioning, you can always get a hold of me at veganmentor.com, or my website, veganmentor.com. You can reach me there too. But I love helping people every month. I have so many success stories. It makes life so rewarding for me. So even when you have tragic loss, like I have had quite a few already, you have a purpose in life. If you have a purpose in life, look, if I could play music like Gustavo does, I would have a purpose right there. That'd be it. I mean, not many people can do that, but everybody can pick a purpose that they can do. It can be just helping your neighbor or when they're not doing well or something like that. But you do need a purpose. It's what makes you happy.
Right.
Happiness comes from having a purpose. Because even after my husband died, I said to people, I think I'm going to be okay. Of course, I'm sad. But every day I get up and I have this purpose, and people who need my help to get healthier and regain their health, lose the weight. I have one lady who lost 85 pounds in like 5 months. And her sister lost her diabetes. She had had diabetes for 27 years. I have a video of my lady who lost the 85 pounds, and she was just recently put into Women's World magazine for her big transition. And if that is not rewarding, I don't know what is. I have another lady that lost 100 pounds. I have people who lose 15 pounds. I have one of my ladies who lost 50 pounds just wrote to me after I haven't talked to her for a few months, and she just put, "I love you." Well, tell me if that isn't a reward, right?
Right. Yeah.
People get so happy getting their life back. And that's what you're doing, Gustavo. You're getting lives back.
Well,
so many purposes, you.
Right. I mean, what you're saying is, I think that life is so much rewarding when you're helping others. And when you get out of your, misery and tragedies and problems sometimes that you think you have until you see other problems. So it does give a purpose, like you're saying, and it is very rewarding. And like Dr. McDougall says, these things that you're mentioning, people that overcome diabetes and that lose weight and revert cancer and heart disease, these are not exceptions. This is what happens. You have to follow the whole food plant-based diet, and you need to have a doctor that will, because I'm not a medical doctor, you're not a medical doctor. We can definitely guide these people. They need to be under the care of a doctor because they will get off the medicine, and a doctor knows how to do that. But
I have to tell a funny story about that. I went to my doctor because I had an ear thing going on, and he wasn't there, and I had to go to a different doctor. So I get to the different doctor, and I forgot I had my earrings on that say vegan.
Oh.
Looking in my ear, and he goes, "I am too." I said, "You're what?" And he said, "I am too." I said, "You're what?" He said, "I'm vegan." I said, "You're vegan?" The doctor was vegan. And I said, "You're kidding. You're the only one I know in this hospital." And he said, "Hey, why don't you become my patient?" And I said, "I can't become your patient. I'm training my own doctor right now. I can't you're already vegan, so I need to keep training my doctor. He's still eating fish." And he said, "Oh, I really want you to be my client, my patient." And then I told my own doctor, I used to tell him every time I saw him, I said, "Remember, you need to learn more about nutrition." And he said, "Why?" I said, "Because I know more than you do. You didn't get that in school. So you have to learn this." And he used to hide from me when he saw me in the hall.
I'm sure.
And he'd say, "You're giving me homework?" Because I always gave him a list of books, Dr. McDougall, Dr. Barnard, the whole thing.
Right.
And he was saying, "You're giving me homework?" I said, "Yeah, you got to know as much as me. I'm sorry." Well, anyway, little did I know, but when I got home, the doctor who's vegan, he switched me to him. I didn't say I wanted to go. Well, now I like him so much. I just stayed there. I said, I didn't get to finish with my doctor.
Well, life has a way around, it will, you're training your doctor. I am training now. Guess what? I'm training my own chef because I found a regular chef, and And so I decided, well, I'm just going to show him how to do it. And we did a video the other day. And
Yeah.
I think I got him interested. So now, at least, if I want to go out to eat, I'm thinking, well, at least I have that place where he knows exactly how I eat.
Yeah,
And he
exactly.
can make me something more than a salad.
Oh, I love that.
Well,
Yeah.
all right, Linda.
See, you
I
don't
know.
keep your mouth shut either. No.
No, not better, but I'm not as outgoing as you are.
I can't shut up. You're right. I always
Linda,
wear something vegan on my shirt, so people have to talk to me about it.
yes. Here, someone says, which one book would you recommend to gift to a non-vegan doctor to get them interested in nutrition and health connection?
I like Dr. Oh, well, a doctor, the China study. And then I also would give them Neal Barnard's book, How to Go Vegan or something like that. What's it called? I forgot. It's I have to look it up.
Okay, I don't, let's see.
I have that book somewhere. Let me see. I have to look it up. But he has a beginning vegan book. Hold on one second. I'm going to see if I have it.
All right. Yeah, we'll give you a few seconds. And while Linda's looking for the book, I will see you next Saturday. We are going to be discussing the following chapter, which is chapter 8 next week. And then tonight, November 21st, I'm having my online piano and violin concert, which you are all invited to attend. It's free. So did you, no luck? No,
but this one's good too.
Oh yeah, yes. That was our first book that we read in this, in this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Linda, we will finish here, but you and I have a date for another webinar.
Love to.
And we will definitely do that. And maybe you can show us aerobic class. Oh, look at that.
Well, I want to talk about Gustavo and my dog too.
Oh, yes.
Bodie, he came to stay with us, and Bodie sat on his lap and wouldn't leave. Bodie, my 80-pound pit bull, fell in love with Gustavo, and he wasn't going to leave you. He loved you.
No, he was the sweetest thing, and I always remember him. Yes.
Yeah.
And so, who is this now?
This is little Nina. She was rescued from a French bulldog breeder because she got mixed up with a pit bull. She's part pit bull, and they sell those French bulldogs for $4,000, but she was going to be worth zero.
Oh,
zero.
No.
So a rescue got her, and I got her from the rescue.
Oh, wow.
She's a sweet girl.
Very, I can see that. Oh, wow. Hopefully, if I can travel again and go visit you, then I'll be able
I got a big boy down here. I can't get on my lap, though. He's 80 pounds. He's like another Bodie.
Another Bodie.
Yeah, his name's Bentley. But, yeah, of course, we have B-Dog, B-Dog.
Yes, you do have the vegan.
We did that for animal reasons. We didn't want any more animals to be killed since we found out dogs could be vegan.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Well, thank you again, Linda.
You're welcome.
And we spent a wonderful 45 minutes learning about so many things and getting to know you for those people that maybe didn't know you. And we will see you soon, hopefully.
Thank you, Gustavo. I look forward to it.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, Linda. And thank you, everybody, for being here today. And I will see you next Saturday. Or if you want to attend my concert tonight, I'll see you then. Okay. Bye-bye.